She delicately places a card upright on the table. The art depicts souls flowing out of a pillar of Audra.
Doesn't matter how much you threaten me. Yeah, I would like to find him. Since all he is an ancient Engwithian, if it bleeds, we can kill it.
I know. It is my business to know. 322
322. A lot of people.
Their souls remain in Aethys still. You have the power to save them. Serve me and I will return you to your body. Or don't, and return to the wheel.
I'll take the wheel. Is this the Conan wheel? I'll pass on that. Let's get on with it.
Good. Before you return to Aora as my herald, you must remember who you were. The last whisper of life and death.
For a moment, the sockets of her eyes darken, leaving the pits of a death's head gazing out at you.
When you can picture your own face, the beyond will lead you back to your own kind, to the world of mortals.
Oh, just have to picture myself. Nope, that's not me. Oh, see, I love this. Okay, so one thing about the game design that I wanted to mention here was most games strive to get players into the action of sort of the core loop, the core gameplay as quickly as possible, right? So otherwise people might get bored or, you know, like, oh, come on, show me the game, get me into combat, get me into the thing I came to do in this game. But this style of game proves that different games have different needs. And sitting here and making a character and talking about my background, even though it might take 2 hours, is very important in this stage of this kind of game. Because you're investing your personality, you're being creative, and you're creating your place in the world before you start to interact with the rest of the world. Super important. And I love it. And it's very appropriate here, even though I might not see my first, say, combat for quite a while. But that's okay in a game like this. And it's actually not just okay, but it's very important. There are games that unfortunately do this in a way that it takes me, say, 30 minutes to customize my character. And then, like, I'm a pilot and I customize my character, but I'm a pilot of a giant ship, a giant spaceship. And I'm going to fly around the galaxy and I'm basically playing as the ship. I do space combat, stuff like that. And I never actually see my character again. So there are times when sometimes people put in the customization and it's exactly wrong for the game because it has no relevance on the future. I'll never see that creativity expressed in the game anywhere again. And so it's sort of a waste. But here it's done. It's done well, and it's very important to the experience. So I love this. Ocean folk. Now how do I choose my... Well, all I'm doing is... where's my race? Okay, oh, next. Here we go. Yeah, I like to be human, I gotta say. 1 second, I'll be back on camera in just a moment. thank you. I'm back. So I was saying I like to usually be humans in games that have a lot of different kinds of races and peoples and cultures and different places to explore, because that's what I relate to, and it's easier to view the world through the human lens, which I somewhat understand, even though there's probably a different culture attached. That way I can learn about everything, the prejudices and that kind of thing, in my first playthrough as a human, as I would personally. And then once I learn about everything in a follow-up playthrough, that's when I like to play something else, one that I've become really fond of because I've experienced their culture, their world, or through my companions or just NPCs I meet along the way. So typically I choose human in these cases. It looks like I'm from one of these places. Yep, I remember some of these. Oh, I'm stronger and resolve. Will and deflection are good because I want to be the tank. Fearlessness, might, healing effectiveness, fortitude, defense. Alright, those are basically my two most important attributes, I believe. I'll take it. Ooh, big choice here. The Meadowfolk. The Meadowfolk, or Thurtan, came from an ancient civilization in the northern hemisphere and gradually migrated south into the equatorial jungles of Aedir over several millennia. Commonly found in Aedir, as well as more might and resolve. Ooh, that's hard to pass up. All folk have an indomitable spirit that rises to the challenge when things look grim. Whenever a folk is below bloodied, it's between 50% and 20% is considered bloodied. Interesting. Okay. Or near death. Bonus to accuracy and damage. Alright. Fighting spirit. That's the tank. I imagine I'll be potentially here quite a bit. Hopefully never here. But I have a feeling I'm going to be there. Ocean folk. Oh, these are just my human bonuses. I'm going to get fighting spirit on all of them. Okay. Near the equator, the western edge, gradually spread. Ocean folk are the dominant culture. The Vailian Republics. I was a fan of the Vailian Republics. I liked, what's her name's story? Pellegrina? Probably saying that completely wrong. Hopefully not. Savannah folk. North of the Eastern Reach. Natlan original. They're OGs. Interesting. I would like being the rare guy. Like, what the heck are you? But I think I'm going to do this. Meadows. Would you like to make a single class or a multi-class character? Interesting. Single class characters are entirely focused on their chosen class. They gain access to higher level powers more quickly. Multi-class characters can select powers from two classes, but gain access to higher level powers more slowly and cannot access their class's highest level powers. Not recommended for new players. I think I'll be pure tank. Let my NPCs or my companions do some of the crazy stuff for this playthrough. Oh, I see what I want to be. Fighter. Let's take a look at some of these others. Major role, crowd control, and defender. Crowd control as in, they're controlled, boss, because I killed them all. History. Ooh, I like that. What's this skill? History covers the commonly accepted narratives. As this skill draws from many sources, a measure of folklore has been woven into many stories. I like it. Intimidate, that's what I expect to have some of in my character. Chanters, support and crowd control. Ciphers, crowd control, striker. Metaphysics. A druid, nature spells, crowd control. Defender, let's see what the defender says. Resisting or attacks being able to take a large amount of punishment in combat. Minor role striker. Striker classes include Cypher Driven. Okay. Streetwise. Explosives. Nice. Monk is a striker. Secondary mortification. Alright. Paladin's got zeal. What does support do? Okay. Priest. Ranger. Zrogue. And the wizard. Alright, fighter it is. Ooh, preview ability tree. That sounds interesting. Really like this option. Tries to give a little more, oh boy. Tries to give a little more info at a time when you have no knowledge of the game. Or very little. Constant recovery. Charged by the rush of battle, the fighter will continually regenerate health at a modest rate. Do I have to click on it? Oh, 45 seconds. Yeah, it's not passive anymore. Alright. So, something I gotta remember to click on. Alright, I'm gonna not look at this now, because I like to be surprised as I level up. Don't want to plan my entire character now. No subclass. Oh, I like subclasses. Oh, there's an ability tree? Oh, no. Black Jacket. Fighters of the Black Jacket Academies pride themselves on being skilled with a wide variety of weapons. Though the original schools found in the Dyrwood, many sister academies have sprung up across the Eastern Reach and Old Empires. Former students of the Black Jacket often wear black brigandine as a sign of fellowship. An additional weapon set and weapon proficiency, very nice. Reduce recovery time when switching weapon, but I lose constant recovery. I'm a fan of the look, not a fan of the abilities. I like that name too. I'm not a big fan of switching weapons in combat. I got my sword, there's many like it, this one is mine. The devoted are dedicated to the pursuit of a single weapon to the exclusion of all others. Now we're talking. They are so attuned to the techniques of their chosen arms that other weapons feel bizarre and alien. Because of their extreme specialization, devoted academies often consist of a single master or a tiny cadre of like-minded disciples. You better just hope that your weapon doesn't get outdated. You may select a single weapon proficiency as their chosen weapon. Increase penetration with their chosen weapon. Increase critical hit damage with their chosen weapon. Accuracy is penalized whenever using a weapon that is not their chosen weapon. I like this. I'll probably take this. All in, the longsword, the greatest weapon ever created. You know, some of that is from my years and years and years of playing video games, where all of the best weapons were swords. King Arthur and whatnot. We just couldn't help ourselves. Unbroken. Slow-moving, almost indestructible, and dangerous to circumvent, often underestimated for their lack of mobility. The Unbroken have laid low countless foolhardy opponents on the battlefield. Countless. Unbroken academies tend to be somber, serious places where math is not stressed. Oh, sorry. Most common and similarly somber, serious nations such as Adir and Raid Saris. +1 engagement. Ooh, I like that a lot, actually. Increased penetration on disengagement attacks. Shield mastery, which gives me armor rating. Alright. When an attack hits, one primary means of mitigating damage. Armor rating. Raises the ability, magic abilities, talents, or other equipment. Let's compare it against penetration. Full penetration, 30% damage occurs when penetration is twice the target's armor rating or more. Partial penetration occurs when penetration meets or exceeds. Already I'm in love with this system more than flat DR. Flat damage reduction. Under penetration, minus 25% per point under the target's armor. Max of minus 75%. Excellent. And that occurs when it's less than the target's armor. Very interesting. So if I'm 3 points higher in my armor rating, many suits of armor and many creatures will grant different armor rating values against the different damage types. Okay. Very nice. Lower stride. With higher scores covering more ground. Lower reflex. Okay, that one's really, really attractive. Gosh, I might take this one. Yeah, I mean, I want to be a tank, and I want to be the best tank ever. But I'm going to be slow. Well, hopefully I'll have some pulls or something like that. But I think I'm going to take Unbroken. I like it. Initial abilities. Oh, I get 2 choices. Knockdown. Classic. One discipline. Ooh, I use discipline. Accuracy. Interrupts on graze. A graze any attack roll is between 20 and 50, and graze reduces damage and duration of 50%. So, does that mean if I roll a graze when I hit someone, or if I'm grazed while I'm in the middle of it? It's quiet. Shh. Or Discipline Barrage. Gaining the Aware Inspiration for a short time. Perception is Aware carry +5 perception and 50% graze to hit. That's impressive. "15 seconds. Concentration. Ooh, okay. Oh, I like this a lot, actually. Much more streamlined. You have a point of concentration, you can ignore one interrupt. And I assume you can stack up concentration. Bank it up. I think I'll take Knockdown, though. Discipline Barrage does sound really cool. 15 points left. This is where I get into trouble. I'm not smart. I'm not. Okay, it's telling me what's recommended. Highly recommended. Alright, so I've got 3 attributes. And where does it start costing me extra? It doesn't, but I can only go to 19. Okay. Strong-willed and fearless. Indestructible. That's why I can't go to 20. Because once I hit 20... No longer destructible. Constitution 10, health, and fortitude. I'm going to want those things. +1 deflection, +2 will. Important, important, important. Area effect, ability duration, excellent. And will, perception, accuracy, and reflex. Dexterity, action, speed, and reflex. Right. Okay. So I'm going to want a lot of this, because I like deflection. So let's say I wanted a lot of that. Maximum deflection. Here we go. But what else? Said he. A mix of health and damage. More health than damage? What don't I need? Guess I could be weak at the will. Yeah. I hate taking negative stats, though, don't be honest. But let's give myself a little bit of character. Dim. I don't think I want to go that far. Health and fortitude. Damage and my fortitude and healing. I do have some healing effects, at least one. I actually want some reflex too, but alright. I'm liking that. I'm liking that. Where are you from? The white that wins. Adir, pretty classic. Ooh, bonuses. You know I like my resolve. You know where they make good tanks? Adir. Most prominent. Centered around the equator, tropical climate. Colonial force. It's got a bit of the England in them. Rare in the Deadfire Archipelago. A chain of hundreds of islands span thousands of miles. Bewildering array of creatures. I like the sound of that. Ancient cataclysm. They don't know what it is or what it was. Probably just an overflown toilet. But everyone's got to be elaborate and exaggerate. The tale gets taller with every retelling. 1,000 years later, oh, it was a disaster. Located north of Raid Saris in the Eastern Reach, fertile savannas, extensively farmed. It's the Shire. That sounds like it. Ruatai. Mountainous region. with a deer. Oh, what was your job? Slave. Aristocrat. You've lived your life amongst the nobility. Your days have been marked by lavish meals, extravagant parties. Well, that's my real life. So, I wouldn't be role-playing if I picked this one. Colonist. Survival, athletics, and alchemy. Excellent. And then a near-death tooltip right here. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. Distant land. Okay. Dissident. Intimidate, I like. Bluff and intimidate. Okay. So far, survival and athletics. Those both sound useful. Drifter. Hunter. Survival. Laborer. Athletics. Alright. That's pretty promising. Mercenary. Athletics and intimidate. This might be the one. That's right. Most problems are solved by pulling out your weapon and applying force. It's just the way of the world. Traded goods? No. Clergy? I think I'm going to go with this one. Mercenary. Oh, here we go. Available weapon types. Small shields, medium shields, large shields. The wall. This is what I'm all about. Oh, I get +1 enemies engaged. Medium shield. Oh, I get +1 here too, but I don't get as much. Okay. Oh, they all give +1 enemies engaged. Very interesting. But I'm a man with a plan. A dagger? No. Stiletto? No. Sword. The sword. Half sword. +5 accuracy. +10% damage. It's sharp. Battle axe, bleeding cut. Alright. Lower deflection? Oh, that's a half sword. Right? Am I right? Oh, it's a choice during combat. Okay. Sword and shield. Ranged weapons are for other people. Ooh, portrait. Ah. Hello. Yeah. dome. I know you. Oh, that's a great portrait. I've been doing this a while, boys. Don't tell me how to do my job. Oh, that's even better. Look at this guy. We're just so heavily armored you never really see his face. I might go with this. Whoa. This beard. Is this like a piano key necktie kind of invention? Or he's just like, I did it first. Alright, I like that. Colors. Black and more black. Oh, that's for the pants. Okay. Yeah. Skin color's good. Sure. Yeah, here we go. As far as you know. Could be under the helmet. It's this. Hadouken.